Well, welcome to the Awakening Potential Show, where we dive into stories, tools, strategies, and unlock your extraordinary self. I'm your host, Karen Rudolph, here to support you in boldly stepping into your sassy confidence, your classy wisdom, and your badassy boldness. This show is your gateway in creating ripples of transformation in your life. And I'd like to welcome today's guest, Vinny Pacifico, who is passionate about world traveling, as am I. So I'm really excited to have that conversation with him. And he's a professional wrestler, actor, model, husband, adoring husband, I might say, because I saw it with my own eyes. It was beautiful to watch. Family is very important to him, and he's inspired by those around him. Vinny, welcome to the Awakening Potential Show. It's so great to have you
Amazing,
here.
amazing introduction. Thank you for having me. Yes, I love traveling. I am very blessed to have been traveled to some countries that I never thought I would even be in. And yes, so it's very great to be here today. Thank you for having me, and I'm very excited to be here.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to ask you a little after because I really like to go back a little in time. Like, what got you to where you are and what got you traveling? Whether I don't want to assume anything, but I'm just very curious. Like, go like what got you started? I mean, obviously, world-renowned champion wrestler, right? Like,
Mhm.
what got you into wrestling? I was watching some of your videos and I'm like, man, you're getting bounced a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very tough industry, very tough industry. It's entertainment, it's showbiz, but also very hard on the body. I
Yeah.
started at 14 years old. I was a fan since a little kid, watching on TV, and I loved the characters. I loved the in-ring spectacle. I loved everything about it. And I was like, I played football for many years, and I'm like, Dad, you know what? I want to wrestle. I want to chase this dream because you only live once. You really, and that's something that I've really latched onto is you only live in this life once. Make the most out of it. And I
Absolutely.
was like, Dad, I want to wrestle. Can we please? I was in high school. I was playing football. I said, you know what? I'm ready to step into this unknown universe in wrestling and see what happens. And my dad was like, you know what? My dad's a very good man. He supported me. He's like, let's do it. Again, he played football as well, so he was really invested in me playing football. But the passion wasn't there anymore. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew wrestling meant so much to me and touched my life. So I wanted to start to do it and just see what happens. Started
Mhm.
training. Years go by. I started working for Ring of Honor Wrestling, which is one of the biggest wrestling companies in the world. I got to wrestle on TV in some amazing places. I got to be at Madison Square Garden. I got to wrestle in Dallas at some amazing venues in Florida, all over the United States for Ring of Honor. And then ever since there, it's been just snowballing into bigger opportunities like Evolve Wrestling, which just recently got bought by WWE. So it's like I was snowballing and snowballing. COVID caused a small a bump in the road, but once COVID stopped, it was full speed ahead. And then I did a 13-day tour in the UK, and
Oh,
I
sweet.
was wrestling every single week in the United States, Canada, and I was like, you know what? I want to go. I want to do a European tour. I want to go to Europe. People. I have a fan base in Europe. I've never been there, but they know who I am and they want me there. So I said, hey, honey, to my wife. We got married a year and a half ago, but we weren't married yet. But we're getting ready to get married. I'm like, hey, listen, I got this opportunity to wrestle in Europe. Um, the first tour I did was Finland, England, and France in Europe. And I
Wow.
said, "Honey, let's do it. It's a month, but let's go for a month. You take off a job, and we're just gonna go." And it was such a beautiful trip, and that's where my passion for traveling even more became apparent.
I love that. I love that. I don't know enough about wrestling and I don't have sons that did that. I have daughters.
Mhm.
But I got to imagine, your parents watching that. I mean, just watching football and seeing your kids get beat up. I can't imagine watching your son get beat up. I mean, I was watching some of I think it was Instagram, and I was like, man, you're getting thrown out of rings.
Yeah.
That's gotta hurt, man.
It's very painful. Like I said, it's very painful, but it's art. We learn how to do things. We learn how to take care of our bodies in ways that, we wouldn't otherwise. But yeah, and then so I would say my mom is very supportive. She worries a lot, but she's very supportive, thankfully. My father, again, very proud of me lately. I'm
Oh,
exceeding expectations. My father's very old school, but I'm exceeding what he expected of me, and I'm very happy about that. And I want to be able to keep making him proud. And I want to take care of my family. I want to be so successful that my family doesn't have to worry anymore, and
that's
about anything. And that's something that I really am passionate about, like family. And I've missed. Hear me out, Karen. I've missed I started wrestling at 14, 15, 16, started traveling at 16 and a half, 17 years old, started traveling. Yeah, in that time frame, I was wrestling on the road every single week, 4 days a week. I've missed funerals, birthdays, I've missed wakes, I've missed anniversaries, I've missed really important dinners. I've missed so much. And just because of just wrestling and traveling. And I met my wife when I was 20, and I was like, you know what? I really want to make sure that I give my all the wrestling, but I also include my family in things because so now what I do is I will try and make sure my flight home or when I'm traveling, I get home at the right time to make it to these things.
beautiful.
I want to make a mental note when having the travel booked. I tell them, hey, listen, I'd like to get home this time. I'd like to have this flight if possible. And it's a sacrifice, but I've learned to make a really good balance out of both. A lot of people don't. A lot of people just forget about their family and their woman, and they just or their husbands, and they just do what they do, and they do what they do.
Yeah,
And I said, you know what? I love my wife. I love wrestling. I'm gonna make it work. So I bring her with me occasionally.
love it.
Um, and yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I want to be able to, be there for my family when it's needed. Again, I can't always be there. I've missed a few things
Yeah.
recently, but you have to make the time.
Absolutely. And what really warmed my heart was I met your dad first on the elevator
Hmm.
in New York. And he was just like, there's a word where it's just like, oh, he was
Buzzing.
proud. Oh my God,
Yeah.
he was so proud. And I'm like, who is this guy he's talking about? Who is this son? And then when I met you, you're so down to earth. You have a certain wisdom about you for your age, and you're young. I mean, I don't know exactly how old you are, but you're young for that kind of philosophy, so to speak. And
Hmm.
I loved having our conversation when you and I were
Me
talking
too.
in the hotel. And you're so motivated, you're so growth oriented, which is so unusual for me. I interview a lot of people, and it was just a natural conversation of flow. But
Hmm.
your self-love was there, your growth was there. There's a level of joy in your demeanor that just seems like it would come later on in life, and you don't normally see something like that in athletes,
Hmm.
because they're so focused on, like, it's not that you're not focused on the bigger picture. You are, definitely, I got that. But it was like that me, I didn't sense that in you at all.
Thank
And
you.
I
Yeah.
don't know, that's why I was like, you got to come on the show.
Hmm.
I love who you be. It's just awesome.
Thank you. I've really learned. I've seen people in wrestling that they could get really big egos, and I said, you know what, it's not gonna be me. I've There's been times when I've struggled. There's been times when I fell short. There's been times when I didn't know when the next paycheck was coming in, and it's like
Yeah,
I everybody can be that. And so I always think we're one decision away from making great things happen and one from making not great things happen. So,
love
and we're all just human beings. We're all bone and blood, right? No one's better than anybody else, right? So I feel like I'm grateful for every opportunity I get, and I think that I don't. I've trained myself to not let myself get ahead of myself, and let any ego develop, let any like I just don't think that that's something that will benefit anybody. I think that if you're down to earth and you are level headed, like I am very very goal orientated, where I don't stop. I every day I'm doing something different. Every day I'm doing media, podcasts, interviews, wrestling, traveling. I'm going on TV tomorrow in Delaware.
nice.
I don't stop.
Yeah,
But it's a mindset that I feel like y- it's a very fine line. between getting cocky and arrogant, and knowing who you
Excellent.
are,
Yeah.
and knowing, the knowing what you have to do, and that's what worked for me, and that's how I operate. I'm not gonna think I'm higher than anybody else. I'm gonna be me. I'm fun.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
Well, I appreciated that about you very much when we
Thank
had
you.
so very because you're so down to earth. Man, I like to surround myself with people who are down to earth and real,
Me
And
too.
there was just that genuineness about you. I just really admired. And like I said, I've spoken to other athletes and in different genres and such, and I'm like, wow, there's something about this. And I'm going to call you a kid because for me, you're a kid. You always kid with a
Well,
great.
funny story, Karen. My old wrestling nickname was the Kid, Vinny Pacifico.
Oh, okay. Well, there
Yeah,
you go.
used to be. Yeah.
There you go. So there's always a balance in life, right?
Hmm.
And I want to take it one step further because balance, you can't really balance life, right?
Hmm.
On an energetic level. And I don't know if you and I don't remember if you and I spoke about this or not, but most people think that they can balance, life and business and so and such. But if you look at energy and everything is energy, right? Balance is pretty much you're standing still and you're I don't have something to, like you're balancing it, right? But energy is always
Hmm.
flow. So
Yep.
there's going to be, right? So it's really finding the harmony in life.
Yes, that's a great way of saying that.
Yeah, so it's in what I'm hearing you're saying is you're really looking to create that harmony within your relationships, right? Family being
Yes.
very important, harmony within your business, and you're doing extremely well with the business. Are you looking towards harmonizing more of business in future where it might morph into something like teaching or something else? Are you looking at that at this point, or is it too soon?
Well, Tony Dreammaker Doty, you know him very well, my manager. He is helping me branch out into men speaking roles.
Oh,
I got to be featured in the Frequency of Miracles film, which is
yeah.
coming out very soon, and that's where I talk about self love, and I give my insight. And yes, I would like. I want to inspire people. I don't know everything. I don't know close to anything. I'm only 25, so I really don't have much life experience, but I know it works for me. And I know I know that I've had trial and error. I've literally I have had a self-made dream since I'm 14 years old where I had to travel to the UK when I was 16. I don't know how old I was, but I went to the UK by myself, flew 13 hours, stayed there for 14 days. It was just I've done things that forced me to grow. When I was 20, I met my wife. She was older than me, and I had to grow, to mature, to be the man I had to be for her. So I've had to really make some really quick changes very fast. And yes, if I could inspire people with my story, I love doing that. I believe that with self love, with taking a step back and knowing, you know, what your purpose in life is, I think it's unmatchable. And a lot of people don't know their purpose in life, and that's okay. I have some young nephews who are 16 and 13, and I'm trying very hard to talk to them and get them motivated, get them pushing forward, and they're in that teenage mindset. I didn't have that, and I have to understand not everyone's like me. I didn't have that teenage mindset. I missed prom. I missed, I missed a lot of these things. And just because I was traveling and grinding, hoping something would happen eventually in my,
Yeah.
dream. And so I know my nephews, my nephews, I love them so much, but I'm trying to motivate them. They're playing sports. They're trying their best, and I just want the best for people. That's what I want, and if I could have a small piece of that and piece of that, not sorry, if I could have a small piece of helping them, I'm happy. If I'm a small puzzle in their success story, that makes me very happy. I think everything is everything. So here's something that I recently. You're gonna love this, Karen. Here's something that I really started saying. Everything you do matters. Every single thing you consume, everything you view, everything you think about, every single decision you make, everything matters. There's things that happen. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll do this tomorrow. I'll do it later. No, every single decision you make, everything you do matters in the big picture, and everything will snowball in something in the future. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is where I'm saying, like, you have such it's like an old soul mentality, and that's what it's called, an old soul. My daughter
Hmm.
is like that.
I love
And it
it.
comes naturally, right? But it's a gift. And most people don't look at it as a gift because everything in life, everything that happens to us is an experience. And for me, I'm in the process of writing my solo book called Spiraling Up. And it's
Okay.
all about from every experience, right? Because if you learn from it, you grow from it, you're going to automatically start spiraling up. And automatically, as you spiral up, new opportunities, greater things happen. And to me, that's where personal freedom and joy comes from.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's the growth of the experience. Yeah, I mean, some of it sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, laying in Costa
Yeah.
Rica in the hospital bed after breaking my hips after flying off a horse was not fun. But I sat there
Mm.
and I thought, what can I learn from this?
Yep. No,
Yeah,
100%.
how can I
100%.
grow? So, and that's what I was very inspired with you. And that's, I think, what it motivated me to ask that question, because I see you really touching many people's lives from these
Thank you.
experiences, seriously. And more importantly, self-love it doesn't grow on trees. It's something that we're not taught in school. And most people don't even know what they want. They know what they don't want, let alone how to love themselves. And I
Yes.
know I could only speak from my own experiences, and this is part of what I teach out there in the world today, is once you get to the Shakespeare's in, I think it was 1533, he wrote the play Hamlet. And
Yep.
in Hamlet,
Mm.
one of the lines from Hamlet, the play Hamlet says, "To thine own yourself be true." And the only way you're going to be true to yourself is when you learn to love yourself and more importantly, know yourself. And in order to know yourself, you got to love yourself. In order to love
Yep.
yourself, you got to know yourself. So you're already 25 years old and you've already got it. Like, what was your secret formula, if I may ask?
When I put everything before myself and I was selfless and I didn't give myself the same love that I give others, I
Hmm.
started to deteriorate. You know what I mean? People took advantage of me. Friends, I would take people out to dinner, pay for their meals, do all this stuff, and it ate away at my pocket. It ate away at me. It ate away at my energy. And people, not all of them, but a lot of people are takers. They'll take, 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 and they don't care, and that's okay. That's everybody has their own role. I'm a giver, and I've learned that. But I deserve love too. I have to. So I sat back and said, I need to love myself the way I love others. I have to look at myself in the mirror, and I have to give myself the same treatment that I give people around me. And
Yeah,
once I started doing that, my relationship, with my wife got so much better. My family got better. My friends. I mean, I lost some friends because of it. It happens.
absolutely.
I lost some
Yeah,
friends,
absolutely.
but at the end
Yeah,
of the day, that's what's needed in this life is self love. Because then people won't walk over you. People won't, take advantage of you. They won't be able to, and you'll be able to vibrate on a frequency that is just different, and people will know that.
love it. And that frequency, we were talking energy, right? Everything
Yes.
is energy and everything is frequency, right?
Yep.
So how do you keep yourself motivated?
God, I pray every day. God, I think God instilled something in me that I'm so blessed to have. How do I stay motivated? Knowing that knowing that my family needs me. Knowing that there's so much to do in this world, knowing that there's so much opportunity out there. Um, an opportunity could be big, small, whatever, doesn't matter. There's opportunity everywhere, right? um, Knowing how big the world is and how many lives can be touched by anything you do, and also just the experiences are just so better and better and better. Like traveling, in August I went to Finland, England, and France. Had an amazing tour wrestling in all these countries, and then I went to November Romania, Hungary, Germany, and Netherlands, and it was phenomenal. And the fans were so appreciative of what we do. And in wrestling, these fans come to the show They come to escape their life. They come to take 3 hours of their time to be in disbelief, to enjoy themselves, and to leave their problems at home. And if I'm able to give fans an experience and make them smile for that hour, make them enjoy themselves, make them forget their problems, that is what motivates me. And
Oh,
getting to change lives around me, getting to make people better, getting to grow together. We are, I believe, me and my team, we're a team. It's not me, it's we. There's no I, you know what I mean?
oh my God. Vinny, it's so with the climate out there in the United States right now, I mean, it's so encouraging, and I love hearing because I was just talking to a girlfriend before you and I got on the call, and we were talking about how sad it's become that it's such a me society, but yet, and we were talking about the youth need to really step up, and
Yeah,
it is a all ships rise together, and like, how do we do this if we don't? It's not me. COVID created a lot of that I
I agree.
separation, right? And now it's like, okay, we're out there in the real world again. And it's so encouraging. And thank you for saying that because it is a we society. And I'm all about collaboration, all about teamwork. And
Same here. Same here.
oh man, wow, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I was asked yesterday, I did a podcast as well, and somebody asked me if there was something that you could put on a billboard, what would that be? Like if there's a quote that you could, so I'm going to ask you the same thing because I was like,
Good question. Good question. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let me think. If I could put anything on a billboard,
Mhm.
wow, that's a deep one.
Right? Okay, so you and I were in Times Square, right? That's how where we met.
Yes.
If you could have chosen anything to put on, I mean, obviously it was related to what it was related, but let's say it wasn't, and you're going to put it on Times Square, what would it say?
Wow. I have one. Um, it's not about me. INAM. That's a quote that that's an acronym, I believe it is. ENAM, INAM. It's not about me. Because it's not about me. It's about when you are on such a path of just ruthless wanting to grow, wanting to help people, wanting to succeed, wanting to bring a team with you. It's not about you. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than the problems ahead. It's bigger than everything that's around you. There's a mission that I have where I just want to, again, take care of my family, take care of my friends, grow into this brand, grow into a person that, I could help people, I could be fruitful, and I want to, that is what it's about. It's not about me. It's about everybody else. It's about together. It's about us. It's about what we all could do to make this world a better place. I can't change, what John Smith does, but I could change what I do.
Absolutely.
I have a small part in this world, but I could do I could do my best to make the best part.
Yeah, that's what I love about you, Vinny.
Thank you.
You're just
Thank you
so
so much.
inspiring. You really are.
You got me
Yeah.
fired up.
Well, I'm grateful because, energy, frequency, right? When your frequency raises, it automatically raises mine. When
Hmm.
mine raises, it's going to automatically raise yours. And that's what I love about energy.
Yep.
So
Me too.
thank
Me
you
too.
because, I'm smiling. So love.
Same. And also it is a lot about what you eat and what you consume. Like I have a lot of I do a lot of caffeine. I'm very energetic anyway, but my diet's very strict. So I feel like I'm able to do things because of my diet sometimes, maybe.
Well, touch on a little bit of it. Like, what does that look like? The day in the life of a wrestler. I mean, I
So
don't.
I'm a very big believer in carnivore, right? So I take supplements that are very carnivorous. For example, I take a supplement called Armor from the Fittest. It's called Armor. It is green shelled muscle, um, cartilage, and bone in a pill. And I take that. I take uh one called what was it? Charge, which is liver, fish eggs, and brain, beef brain. So these are the supplements I take, and there's so many vitamins in meat. There's so many vitamins in liver. There's more vitamins in liver than anything in the entire world.
Absolutely.
So that's where liver has been a game changer for me, where I'm able to have this energy and this capacity to do these things. I feel like, at least, you know. So I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know at this point how much it really works. I've been taking it so long that I'm able to do these things. But I've liver. I've always been a big believer in liver, heart. Heart's very good for everything in your body. Bone marrow is stem cells. It creates, healing and growth, and it just promotes so much for your hair, skin, and nails. So I'm very strict on my carnivorous diet. Occasionally I'll mess up and eat a pastry here and there. Don't like doing that, but I do it, because I'm Italian. But I really love the carnivorous way of life because it's helped me. I mean, again, it's not one size fits all. Everybody has their own diet, their own what works for them.
Yeah.
But for
Right.
me, when I'm on my carnivore diet and I'm taking supplements that help me grow and build and be strong and have this robust strength, that's what works for me. So like just now, um I took some liver pills, bone marrow, and heart, and I feel great. I'm on the podcast. I'm feeling pretty motivated and ready to go. So that's kind of what helps me, to perform my best.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Wow. I remember it brings up a memory for me. My dad loved liver. Liver.
Hmm. It's gross. It's disgusting. But in pill form, not that bad.
I didn't know they had it in pill form. I would do a pill form, but I remember hiding it and getting the licking of my life because he was coming home from work and looking for to his liver and onions, and my sister and I hated it, and we hid it under the china cabinet. Oh, we don't know where it is, and they would make us eat it, and it was disgusting. I didn't have a dog to like give it to at the time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it smells, it could be gross, it's slimy, but listen, the benefits you get from it. When you mentioned earlier you weren't feeling too great, that's why I wanted to recommend you possibly, the liver
Good.
pills.
Pills I will consider, but
Eating
you
it straight up, it's hard. I used to eat it raw and it's not fun. You have to dip it in honey and swallow it. It's not always
God
fun.
bless you.
Thank you.
Couldn't.
Not easy. Trust me. My wife would sit there and just watch me literally dip the raw liver with the blood in the honey and then just swallow it. Again, I felt so great from it that it changed my life.
Yeah,
So that's where I'm like I'm an example. I could say it worked for me.
you're right, exactly. And I love the fact that you tag that on because it doesn't work for everybody, right? I have a massage therapist who I absolutely adore here in Florida, and he's another one. He eats like the raw liver and all this other, and I'm like, and he just feels amazing with it. And I'm like, okay, but I did not know it came in pill form, so I will
Yep.
definitely consider
All
that.
of it. All of
Yeah.
it's they have every organ in pill form, and every organ has their own benefits. Brain helps you with mental clarity, helps you focus, helps you I don't know. Listen, it's crazy. It's crazy. I also really have been enjoying armor because I wrestle. I have my joints and my bones and joints. It helps
Yeah.
me out. I'm not in as much pain as I should be. I feel more loose. I feel more able to do things. So that's where I say it works for me. And as an athlete, I think it's very important I take them. But I love a good steak, chicken. I love eating too, like eating good food.
Right. So you get regular massages or anything like that, or do you do anything regularly for your well-being in
I
that?
should do more. Yeah, I should do more, I believe. But I do some massages, I do some foam rolling, I do some PT here and there. I went to one last week called Radical Physical Therapy in New Jersey. They did some shock therapy on me, which is amazing. Cupping, needling. They did some
Yeah.
really good work on me. And every now and then you need that. As an athlete, I've had
Absolutely.
times where I travel to the West Coast, I wrestle. My flight home is say I fly. All right, I'll give you an example. I flew out to San Jose a couple months ago. Flew out 9 a.m. Got there, I would say, 12 o'clock Los Angeles time, San Jose time, and California, let's just say, and wrestled at say 6:30. My flight home was 9 p.m. Wrestled, got dressed, left, went to the airport, and flew home. Got home by the next day, 5 a.m. Let's just say, because it's time difference. My sleep was on the plane. So I need to have my body worked on. I need to have that. I've had times where I wrestle the next day. I don't have time to even go. I'm not even going home. I'm going to wrestle in North Carolina, let's say, or somewhere in the Midwest. And I travel to the West Coast, wrestle, get ready. Excuse me, leave, go to the Midwest, sleep on the plane, wrestle, and then I go home. So there's times when my only sleep is on the plane. So it's not an easy lifestyle, but I've learned to do more self care, some more things that benefit me. Stretching. Oh my gosh, stretching so important. But yes, so I do some physical therapy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, you got to take care of yourself, right? That's part of the self-love conversation
Yep,
is
yep. And if you want to perform your best, you gotta take care of yourself.
exactly, exactly. So I'm curious before we start wrapping up here, and I can talk all day to you, so, and I
I love
enjoy
it.
it. So, but what's the one thing you would say that awakened your potential?
Great question. My wife believed in me when I had nothing, so I want to give her everything.
Mm. Beautiful.
That I think is what she met me. I was 20 years old. Like she's old. Oh, she's 26. She was, and when you're older, you're 26. You're not really looking for someone who's 20. You want someone who's already established. You want someone who's got some. You know what I mean? I wasn't established yet, so I, and she trusted in me and loved me and believed in me and motivated me when I was I had no promise. I had nothing. So it's like I'm making sure that she wins to the max.
Love it.
That's what awaken. What that's what that because like I would if if I was a woman, I mean, I feel like it would be very hard to just trust in somebody's potential, right? But she trusted in my potential, and now things are happening. And I'm gonna make sure she reaps benefits also.
I love it. I love it. I just love who you are, Vinny.
Thank you so much. Oh,
You're
you too, Karen.
such a unique individual, and
Thank you.
I feel so honored to have crossed
Yeah,
your path.
it's an honor to be here as well. Seriously, I love this talk. I mean, I haven't had many talks like this, so I'm very happy to be. I hope that whoever hears this, it moves them, motivates them, makes them smile, gives them a new motivation, gives them new courage to chase that dream. And I really hope that, because this is a beautiful platform that you have. And I really hope it touches some lives.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was my intent when I created this. So,
Mhm.
is there anything else before we part that you'd like to tell the audience or share with the audience or something you just want to say? Yeah.
Find your self love, find what makes you you. Everybody is unique in their own way. There's no one size fits all. Everybody is different. And it's okay. It's okay to have setbacks, but know that better days are coming and that you can make your life better. There's only you. You are in charge of your life. What you want out of this life, you can make happen. And I'm very honored to be here. I'm very honored to speak. Whoever hears this, I hope that this translates well to you. Chase that dream. You have that goal, you do it because the one worst thing I believe in life is regret.
Yes, absolutely. Vinny, what a pleasure. I hope you will join us again in the future. At one point, come back and share what's happening newly with you, and we'll blast it all over the place again. So
I loved it. Thank you so much for having me.
thank you. And to our listening audience, thank you for joining us on the Awakening Potential Show. As you step back into your world, remember the bridge from ordinary to extraordinary is built with small steps of courage and big leaps of faith. Don't forget to subscribe, share the show with someone who enjoys being inspired and lifted. Leave your comments. I'm one who will definitely, you'll get me commenting. And I'm sure if Vinny has questions there, I'm sure he would be happy to answer them as well for you. Because givers get. I am a big believer in that. So join me on social media for tips, questions and more, and let today's insights from Vinny guide you to shine your light and navigate your own journey. So
I love
remember,
it.
you were born different, so make a difference. Let your
Yes.
light shine. And until next time, continue awakening your potential and illuminate the extraordinary within. Stay inspired. See you next time. Bye for now.